What's good, everybody? My name is Vic Vega, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the music industry. So, therefore, I would like to talk about my views on the music industry. However, I've never been in the music industry, but however, I know I've heard a lot about the shady deals, and you know, it's very complicated talking about the music industry. Heaps of people would give it a lot of critics give mixed reviews about the music industry, but I would like to talk about from my side of the story. How often I would see a lot of people talking about the music industry, such as in short videos, content, when they post content about how the music industry has always been shady towards hardworking musicians. So I'm just going to be talking about that. But either way, my name is Vic Vega, and I'm coming straight from New Zealand. And here's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. So, therefore, the music industry has always been so challenging for independent artists or aspiring musicians trying to make a name for themselves in the music industry. I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot about how the music industry is always going to be full of backstabbing people, a lot of things that are not talked about behind the scenes. You get to work with a lot of professionals in the industry. They be the ones to mentor you if you are signed to a record label. I mean, not just necessarily signed to a record label, but if they discover you before signing to a deal, if they wanted to be your manager or anything. It's like a lot of musicians around the world, they always trying to find a manager. They'll be like, "Oh, can you help me get a record deal? I wanna become the famous rapper in the world." But it doesn't come like that overnight. But majority of people, it doesn't happen overnight. If you're trying to be a famous rapper, well, I'm trying to be a famous rapper, but at the same time, I don't want to sell my soul, you know. But for a few examples, I would like to talk about rappers such as DMX, Tupac, XXX Tentacion. They're like the only rappers I thought about how they were speaking about the music industry being shady. I know for a fact when I watched DMX videos a lot, he was always cussing out the music industry a lot in the videos. One time when he was made a video with Tim Westwood back in the day, I remember that story. He was talking about how he assaulted another musician back in the day. This was when he was on the verge of losing his career, with Def Jam becoming so shady towards him. This was happening because DMX was already a famous rapper at the time. He was blowing up. He was sold heaps of records. He made like about 6 albums when he Def Jam, started knocking out everything in 1998. But he was the one of the main reasons why the industry being shady, how how people are not good with business. But DMX, he was very angry when he was doing these videos, but he uh, lying when he said about the music industry being shady. But on top of that, Tupac in general, because DMX and Tupac, they were the two same people, but they had different stories, but they were way different to each other. I wouldn't compare them to each other, but Tupac has always been globally successful. He's always been a legend, and people look up to him so badly. Tupac has also talked about the music industry as well. I also think that the only reason why Tupac never won a Grammy back in 1997, 1996 for his albums, I think, was, the Grammys has always been rigged. It's rigged. The Grammys, people were talking about, oh, Tupac should have won a Grammy for Me Against the World. Tupac should have won a Grammy for All Eyes on Me. When he was 24, when he was 25 years old, he could have been the youngest rapper to win Best Rap Album of the Year. I don't know. But I think the main reason why Tupac also never won a Grammy was because he was dissing the music industry. He was a controversial rapper at that time. That was the main reason. Tupac was so controversial that he started dissing all the powerful people in the music industry. P. Diddy, he started dissing Jay-Z, everybody. Because Jay-Z would often be the biggest name in the industry 20 years on. That's how Tupac becoming so fearless. He was fearless, but he also had a successful career at a young age. That's why I was hoping if Tupac would win a Grammy for his All Eyes on Me album, but it was the Grammys just being complete idiots, just snubbing people, making the whole Grammys feeling rigged. There's no fans do not vote for who wins Best Rap Album, who wins Album of the Year. The fans don't do the voting. It's often the fans be the ones to watch the award show without voting for their favorite artist. You have to be a member of the Recording Academy, because nowadays people complain about people snubbing their favorite artist not getting any awards. But either way, people are so obsessed with the Grammys so much. I just think that the Grammys, I think maybe, just maybe, they can at least stop the award show. I would say they stop the award show, because since all the people complaining a lot, it just gets out of hand. There was I would say, the albums that should have gotten awards for the Grammy were Tupac's All Eyes on Me album. I kind of wish that Michael Jackson won an album for his Bad album back in 1988. I mean, also, I think some albums I can't mention. I'm trying to remember what albums they should have won. I think maybe another rapper I thought about could have won an album, Best Rap Album. Tupac, Nas should have won years ago. I don't 50 Cent could have won, but the Grammys has always been notorious for snubbing uh famous musicians who sold 30 million copies, who became the most global rap superstar during those years, I just think it's always been shady. That's why most people around the world don't tune into listening to the Grammys because it's called, I would say, I call it unfair play. It's always been rigged. If only people can open their eyes a bit more about the Grammys being so rigged, everybody would be everybody would get a reality check all of a sudden. That's just my take on how the music industry has always been shady. Yep. I really don't know. I really don't know what to talk about. It's like when I talk about something, I always forget things. But due to my autism, I always forget what I'm going to say.